And hello, everybody, and welcome to Meet the Players. This episode deals with Aya, who is one of our players here on CharismaToAC, and who is a part of, well, actually several of our recorded campaigns. And just to give you an idea, if this is the first of the Meet the Players sessions that you listen to, we're going to do one of these for each of the players that take part in recorded games here on CharismaToAC, so that people have a chance to actually get to know us. We are terribly conceited people, and we think that you all want to know, who we really are behind the screens, because we are that important and stuff. Cough. Yeah, exactly. But all right, let's get started on this before it gets any more embarrassing, shall we?
Yes, please.
All right, let's hear it. We start out with what is your full name, if you want to share it.
I go by Aya Blenby, but it is Aya Merete Toft Blenby.
So basically, you go for the shortened version.
Yeah, AJ.
Yeah, AJ. True. All right, and how old are you?
I'm turning 27 this May.
All right. And what kind of educational background do you have, if any?
Well, I obviously have primary school because it's mandatory in Denmark,
Yes.
and then I have a gymnasium, a Danish thing. I think it's the same height as high school in America.
It's equivalent to high school, yes.
Yeah, it's called STX, and I also have a business education hooky.
Yes, so it's a basic it's a basic business introduction.
Yeah, and I build on that with store stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm fit to own and run a store.
Yes.
Very posh.
Very posh indeed. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
All right. Which of the CharismaToAC campaigns do you participate in?
All of them. I have Songatara, where
Yes.
I'm Terran. I have Masks, where I'm Starlight. Hereticus, where I'm Medea, and I were in Burning Wheel as Minnow.
And well, yes, you are in fact a stalwart of this channel. In that case, you're involved in everything we do. All right, so if you are in the banner, and well, you are. In this case, you are the third person from the right on the banner who has a small rodent on her arm. What do you think of that portrayal of you?
Well, my hair is way longer now. Believe it or not. If I'm not careful, I'm sitting on it. Now, I love cats, and at the time where it was drawn, I have rats.
Yes.
Sadly, they all have died of old age, and I now have cats. I upgraded.
Well, if you ask me, it's a downgrade, but then that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll upgrade it to a dog at some point, but right now it's cats.
Ultimate upgrade. Yes.
But I love animals. I still miss my rats, but now that I have cats, I realize how scared they were because they are prey animals, basically.
Yeah.
So no prey animals while I have cats. It's sad.
Yeah, it would be.
That's how it is.
Yes, and in all fairness, you are without any comparison the person I know who has the biggest heart for animals in the world. It's remarkable.
What are you talking about? I've only had 11 rats, 3 gerbils, 4 hamsters, 3 cats, a few dogs, a parrot, mice. What else? Several dogs.
Yeah. And of course, as we say in Denmark, rats in the ceiling.
Yeah.
But then again, we all have that.
That's just a part of being Scandinavian.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's in Danish. The expression is "otter på loftet," which basically means that you're slightly cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
And all right. So basically, what you're saying and what I'm hearing is that you actually you don't have a problem with the portrayal of you in the banner.
No.
No.
That's pretty much me.
Yeah.
While everyone else is looking interested at other stuff, I'm just looking at the rat. That's perfect portrayal. Pets! Fuck everything else.
Yes. All right. How long have you been into role-playing? How long have you been role-playing?
Since I was 16 or 17. So that's 10 years, more or less.
A decade.
A decade.
Yeah. And how did you get into the hobby?
Well, I started playing on an RPG forum with Daniel, Michelle, and actually also Rasmus. And then I were invited to play Rise of the Rune Lords with Daniel, Michelle, and Heine on this channel. And it weren't long before Rasmus joined.
Indeed.
That's how I came into actual pen and paper.
Yes. And do you have any hobbies and interests apart from role-playing and animals, which we've just heard about?
Gaming.
So computer gaming, basically.
Computer gaming, and I collect BJDs. That is ball joint dolls.
Yes.
It's an Asian kind of doll, very expressive. You can change everything about them.
Yes.
They're all handmade. So, very weird kinds of hobbies.
Oh, I don't know.
But they're there.
Collecting dolls is not actually terribly weird as hobbies go. Believe me.
No, but before I collected dolls, I collected a shit ton of other things.
So basically what you're saying is you have a slight herder gene somewhere.
Yeah, you should see this pile of teddies I have in the corner right now.
I believe you. I have to shamefacedly admit that I had much of the same problem for a while. Yes,
yeah.
Yes, we are in fact adults on this channel, everyone, service announcement and all that. We are adults and we don't actually need teddy bears to fall asleep at night and to chase the nightmares away at all. And if I don't have my teddy, I'm gonna dream of Skaven.
It's fine. I don't have that with the teddies, I have that with the cats. But
That's
that's an entirely different story.
Yes. All right. So, onto the more role-playing related objects or topics here, specifically role-playing related. So, what is it about role-playing that you like the best?
See, this was a tough thing because there's a ton of things. For the entire experience to be perfect, you need all of them. But if I had to pick just one of them, I'd say the people.
Right?
It's
how do you
it's
mean?
basically, well, the story is great and the characters are great, but what makes it perfect is playing it with friends.
Right. So the social element of it, basically.
Yeah, having fun together.
Yeah. You know what? I can certainly see that, and I actually rather like the fact that you bring...
people.
Yeah.
It's the people that makes it fun.
Yeah.
If you play RPG with people you don't like, then you're gonna hate it.
I totally agree. And I have to say, I rather like that you bring that up, because I think, in fairness, that quite a lot of the rest of us, when we hear a question like that, we're going to think about something that is more specifically, I don't know, rules or system or story related than that. And then basically what you just did is bring it all back home and say, yeah, but in the end, it's about the friends that you play with, which... I have to say, I think it's just about the biggest truth out there. Because playing with people you don't like, then what's the actual point?
I mean, if you play it with strangers, then granted, some of them you might not like, but some of them could become your best friends. Right,
Indeed.
Daniel, Michelle, Rasmus, Heine.
Good point. Good point.
Joan, Hella, and everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the point, of course, is that, and I know you do this as well from time to time, there is such a thing as role-playing conventions, obviously, where when you go there and you sign up for a game session with someone, you see the description in advance of, oh, this is going to be a Vampire the Masquerade game, and the story is about this, so there's an intro blurb. And you say, oh, that sounds fun. I might want to try that game. And you sign up for it. You get onto that group. And then in I'd say 19 out of 20 cases, you will be playing with people you don't know.
Well, see, that's where I'm a little conceited. I always bring a friend to those things.
Yeah.
So
right.
we experience it together,
Yeah.
and we can talk about it together. And granted, we meet a lot of people there.
Yep.
But I always know minimum one because I'm not good with big crowds.
No. No. Fair enough. But the point is that even if you know some of the people there, you would still often...
There will be people I don't know.
Exactly.
And it's a good way to learn to know people, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Bonding over a thing we all like.
Oh, yeah. I can absolutely relate to that. I had a situation, just to bring a personal experience into this, in Dublin when I lived there years ago now, where I was on the tram system one day, and I was actually going back to Denmark to run a game at such a convention. And it was the third of three games that I had been that I'd written for 3 different successive conventions. And as I know, you actually played on at least one of them. And exactly, Skaven. And it was much fun. And I had the character sheets under my arm. And while I was there on the tram, there was this lovely young woman who suddenly said, "Excuse me, are those character sheets?" And we had 1.5 stop on that tram system before I had to get off. And in that time, in the time it took to drive between 1.5 stops, we had managed to exchange telephone numbers and email addresses and names so that we could get in contact with each other, because she was desperately in need of someone to play with. And that way you meet new people in the strangest of places. So, and there, I just felt like that was actually quite relevant in relation to what you said, that meeting complete strangers who can then suddenly turn into your best friends.
Yeah, we were strangers once too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we met over role-playing.
Yes, we did.
Role-playing, bringing people together.
Yes.
Screw you, Nokia.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so what is your favorite role-playing system?
I gotta say, even though I've played a lot of Pathfinder, I'm kind of more into World of Darkness.
All right.
And that might be because that's the very first thing I actually played.
Yes.
Right after I tried World of Darkness and realized that I kind of like this because I have easier time relating to it, I started playing Rise of the Runelords. So I've tried, one of those one-shot things.
Yeah.
That I thought, I'm gonna try this, and I don't know even if I like it. And then it kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Also, it was the first thing I really went through an entire campaign into.
All right. So yeah, you while it may not be the game system that you have played the most overall, it's still the one that you like the best, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you, now, obviously, the storyteller system, the World of Darkness, is more than just one system. So, and at the moment we're playing Werewolf the Apocalypse in A Song of Tara. But would you say that Werewolf is your favorite, or would it be Vampire, for example, or even any of the others? Because there are several different World of Darkness.
Well, it's more or less the way that the World of Darkness systems are played. I like.
Okay.
It seems more free in the sense that, well, while Pathfinder is really, really cool, there's also a rule for the rule in the rule.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I've played it so much now, and I still don't get half of it.
Oh my goodness! Welcome to my world.
I really like it. I just don't want to be GM in it.
No.
Let's just put it that way. But World of Darkness seems to me a little more intuitive with what you roll and how you roll it.
Yeah.
At least to me, it seems more intuitive.
Well, I have to agree with you, but that's just you and me. And I know for a fact that not everyone in this group is going to agree with us on that. I know that there are people who enjoy other systems, and we will get to them as well. Just between you.
We still love you guys.
Exactly. Just between you and me, Aya, because none of the others will ever hear this. We're right and they're wrong.
Yeah, only because they have been told to stay muted while we do this, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But I can hear this guy going off with comments and I'm not looking.
Neither am I. All right, let's move on here before we antagonize all our fellow players. So, what are your pet peeves?
Well, this kind of ties into what we talked about just a little while ago. I'm all for, getting the rule right, but if it's not something that you can look up and it's, going to drag out, then don't do it in the middle of the session so you only have 20 minutes to play afterwards.
Yes.
It's just, we are here to role play, not to rule play. If there's, if you have something you're not agreeing on, that's all fine and dandy, but can you take that discussion afterwards? The ST or GM is always right. If you're not agreeing, then take it afterwards.
Yeah. Right. That's. I think that's a common pet peeve, so to say. I can certainly recognize it myself as well. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that, and it makes absolute sense.
It's just I'm somewhere in the middle. I like a more loose system, but I want there to be rules so everyone can be there and agree on some things.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you roll this hit, and then the roll decides if you hit or not.
Yes.
Or how well you hit. But there's really no reason to drag it out and kill the whale over and over.
True. Poor thing. Isn't it enough to be killed once?
Yeah.
So, which of your current characters, so characters you play at the moment, would be your favorite, and why?
Well, I know Chris already said Tally, and I am going to say Taryn. And it might be, admittedly, because I relate a little too much to her. But she's also the character I've had that grew the most. And even though she's been through a lot of shit, she still stays true to who she really is. It's not like she turned 180 degrees and then became a bitch who doesn't like anyone.
No, she's
she
very grounded in that regard.
It's like playing an actual teenager who's still just a teenager but does her best.
Indeed, and I have to say, as the storyteller, she has been her transformation has been absolutely remarkable, because I mean, I went from thinking of her as basically the ultimate and definitive omega of any pack when we started. She was almost apologizing for her own shadow, and now she's the beta of the pack at the time of recording this. It's a remarkable transformation.
Yeah, she'll still have to wake up and realize that that's actually what she is right now.
Maybe, but it's still what's happened.
She's like, yeah, I'm the beta, I can do this. And then she'll have the anxiety attack in a corner somewhere where no one sees it. She'll get there. She'll get there. She's growing.
Indeed. And frankly, I'm pretty sure that she will continue to do so for as long as the campaign is running.
Obviously.
Yeah, the same goes for all the others. It's a campaign that really does see people grow and evolve. So, all right, that's your current favorite character, obviously, but who would you say is your all-time favorite character, and why?
They were never actually recorded, but that must be Emalia.
Yeah.
We played A Way of the Wicked, also a Pathfinder thing. You're starting to see a pattern here, right, guys?
Yes.
And I were playing Emalia, a lady who were a firecracker, to put it politely, a sorcerer tiefling with succubi blood, and she were a piece of art, or a piece of something, I'm not entirely sure, but she was very fun to play.
I would say that she was a piece of art. She was a walking statue, for one thing. How much charisma was it that woman ended up having? It was ridiculous.
25.
Yeah.
And
ludicrous.
we were level, what? 5? 6?
Yeah, I think so. By the end of it, it was completely ludicrous. then again, she was capable of putting out astonishing amount of damage if that was what we needed. Anyway,
And
that
she
campaign.
had the worst kind of temper tantrums
Oh,
ever.
yeah. But as you say, that campaign was never actually recorded. However, just for the listening audience, Way of the Wicked is a third-party adventure path for Paizo's Pathfinder game system. It is, as far as I know, it is a unique campaign in that it is the only campaign I've heard of for that system in which you play out-and-out villains, not actually, not anti-heroes or slightly tarnished, morally questionable, but ultimately fairly decent so-and-sos. In that campaign, you play the villains, the ones that others send adventuring parties out to capture and kill, and that meant it was a very different kind of dynamic in the group, obviously. So
it was weird playing the ones who were supposed to destroy the world, not
Yes.
run out and save it.
yes,
But it was also kind of a breath of fresh air, and I think that's why I remember it fondly, as in, that was something new to try, and it was actually quite fun.
yes, I do agree. All right. Are there any types of characters that you are more likely to play than others, as in any roles or personality types that you play more often than others?
Yeah. The way Terran were before is pretty, what I usually play. Timid, silent, and horrible at social stuff. And I'm really out of my comfort zone if I try to play something that's not. So Terran is going to be a handful for me in a couple of times.
Yes, that is. I was about to say. There's also there's also the issue that when we play Pathfinder, for example, you are very often, at least, a spellcaster.
Yeah.
So I would say that would be a thing that you at least play often as well. Would be an arcane spellcaster.
Yeah, but right now I only have one of those.
Yeah, well, at the moment, yes, but it's still something.
Yeah, at the moment,
yeah.
but it is a thing I've tried to get out of.
Alright,
So
yeah.
that is why I actually only have that one wizard we
Yes.
play on Curse of the Crimson Throne.
Yeah, which
Not
is
on
incidentally
Setsa.
also not recorded. So yeah.
Other than that, I'm actually not playing any spellcasters, am I?
Not at the moment, no.
I really tried to get out of it. I play a rogue, also on something that's not recorded. Sorry,
Oh my God.
guys.
Oh my God, you're trying to you're trying to break your addiction.
Yeah, I saw it
Spellcasters
was
Anonymous.
a pattern. I saw it was a pattern and thought I should try something else. And I found it's not actually that horrible. It's just hard for me to play something that's actually socially active. That's the thing I still have to, break down.
Fair enough. And well, breaking out of a habit is well, I would say that's a very laudable goal in itself with role playing. Is that of course you find character types that are in your comfort zones, but just from time to time it's probably good to try to break that.
Mm-hmm.
And so on to the next one. Is there any type of role playing that you have yet to try but which you would like to try?
A character who doesn't mind taking charge.
Okay.
And who actually doesn't have to take 5 minutes to think about words that isn't incompetent socially, basically. Again, Terran's going to be a handful.
That's a good point. Yes, she will be, but
And,
you're in
on the upside, she's growing slowly into that, so
Yes.
I have time to, adjust.
Indeed, and you're playing with a group of people who you know very well, so
Yeah,
Nobody
that's
here is
actually
gonna-
making a lot easier.
yeah, nobody here is going to give you a hard time if you feel it's difficult or problematic from time to time. That would
Nope.
be, obviously we're all going to be very supportive of that. So, is there any RP related advice that you would like to share with?
Yeah, that ties into the last thing you just said. don't back down from fringe yet seems daunting. Because if your group is as tight and safe as ours, then trying things isn't that scary.
I think that's pretty good
just
advice.
let the group know what you want to try, and then let them help you. Don't worry too much, because they'll always have your back.
That is good, solid advice. And I think that's actually good, solid advice in more things than just role-playing in general.
Good friend base, then you always have someone who has your back.
Exactly. So, to move on, do you have GM experience? I believe you do.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What with?
World of Darkness.
Yeah.
I've had... the one I actually finished was a vampire, Masquerade, because fuck Requiem.
Yes.
I don't like the last edition there. I don't like Requiem. I'm not trying to, pack that away under a rug. I just don't like it. And that was Masquerade. A campaign. The very first thing I played after only having one shot in World of Darkness, I might add. I played an entire campaign for a group of friends that were World of Darkness, Vampire, the Masquerade.
Yes.
And I've had World of Darkness with regular people. End of the World thing, I never finished that, sadly. And a few others. Also Vampire.
All right. So basically, that it's been when you've been GMing or storytelling as it is, it's been based on Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah,
All
World
right.
of Darkness.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes. So, in order to round this off and finish it up and put a bow tie on it and all that, is there anything else that you would like to share about yourself?
I don't know what that should be. Really. I can't think of anything.
That's all right. No worries. If you don't have anything ready to hand, then that is absolutely fine. Well, in that case, I think we shall round this off and say thank you to you for taking part in this, obviously, and to the listeners out there. We are going to do one of these for each of the players, as I mentioned at the beginning. So please do look the rest of these videos up as well. And until the next time, then see you later.
Bye.